higher scoring.
And they make a lot of money on that football as well. You're tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Larry Merchant, the godfather of the HBO crew, is in the house.
Special alert for consumers struggling to pay taxes. There are new tax regulations, not published yet. We have the inside track on your new tax savings. These programs are designed to help struggling taxpayers like you. The COVID relief programs are gone, but there are new programs to help struggling taxpayers.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio, take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio, take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need feedthepig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. Feedthepig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually
reality. And it is. It comes. I mean, it's a bunch of new faces, the timing, but we got to clean that up. That was a huge thing we focused on in this bye week. And defensively, too, I mean, we were there to make tackles. The difference between Mount Union, you miss a tackle against a lot of teams, it's a 15-yard gain. You miss a tackle versus them, it's a touchdown. That's the difference. That's why they're number 2 in the country. It was great for us to see that and get back to work, to really know why you truly have to make every play its own story, and you got to maximize every play, because any play you don't make against them will come back to hurt you, and that's what we learned in that one.
And of course, Mount Union, no turnovers and very few penalties as well. And they, sometimes a team maybe makes a mistake to capitalize. And Mount Union, I'm sure their coaches, they had a fine-tooth comb looking at things, but it looked like Mount Union, they played quite well too. It wasn't a case of the Wolverines playing poorly.
Correct, and that's the thing. I mean, I was just impressed. Even pregame, everything leading up to it, just professional in every single thing they did. You see why they're a program that's been where they've been, both in how they prepared, how they got ready for the game, and then how they played the game. Everyone looks at Mount Union and just knows, the national titles, the NFL players that have come. They are extremely well coached. They don't beat themselves. They don't make many mistakes. There's no coverage breakdowns. There's not missed blocks. I mean, they are not only extremely talented, just really, really well coached. That's why they're a national championship team. And obviously they just have so many different weapons to make big plays, and they were able to do that at times on Saturday.
Certainly a great, as we kind of are able to take the 10,000-foot view now, but looking back, a great showcase for Grove City College. Again, coming out on the downside, that's we're keeping score, we're playing to win, but this really something that a decade ago wouldn't even been a pipe dream to have Mount Union at Thorne Field with an overflow crowd, national media attention, regional television, all of those things. It really was a great showcase, and certainly, again, the final score, ending up what it was at 49-14. But Wolverines, I think certainly have proven that they are, continuing to rise at national level.
Correct. I mean, you just look at this, and you can't change the past. Would I love to be sitting here 2-0 coming out of the bye week? Of course. But when I look at our beginning schedule, playing number 10 in the country and number 2 in the country, to get a 31-14 win, and obviously lose a tough one here, and to see what Cortland's done the last 2 weeks, 2 dominant victories. They're a top 25 team right now as well. To be sitting here 1-1, scheduling the toughest non-conference opponents we felt we could find out of the time, coming out of 2023, and Cortland winning the national title in Mount Union. We felt those 2 at North Centrals would be the top 3 teams you could schedule. Well, we scheduled 2 of them, and here we are 1-1, the bye week to clean things up with a very young group that, it's not a bad position to be in, and that's kind of how we've approached this.
You mentioned, of course, being off. The Wolverines were off in week 3, as was W&J, so nobody has a schedule advantage, which I think is certainly is notable and a good thing for this matchup between 2 teams that shared the conference title last year. During the open week, how did you attack it? Every year the open date is its own story. Last year, I believe it was in week 2. A couple years ago, it was in week 10. So, the points of emphasis may not always be the same. But what were some of the things that you and the coaching staff focused on during that open week in terms of getting ready for W&J? Was it all 2 weeks of W&J? Was it self-scouting? What all went into the open date?
Yeah, first and foremost was to clean up the mistakes from the Mount Union game. It was pretty nice to be able to have a practice where You don't need to get ready for another opponent. You actually can just kind of play back through the situations we found ourselves in against Mount Union. We went over the corrections in film, but they actually go out on the field and practice. Okay, here's the situation. Here's where we didn't capitalize. Here's what we could have done. Now let's go rep it. So really, we had a whole day just focused on cleaning up Mount Union corrections. That we had a whole day focused on our young guys, getting them extra time to compete, putting them in different situations to see, what some guys that maybe didn't get an opportunity those first 2 Saturdays to see what they can do in a competitive situation. And it was good to see who stood out in that area. And then, with how many young guys we have, just position battles, really get to see guys get reps with different people to see, what is that right mix for us? Because we have a lot of talented guys, the good problem we have is, guys are playing, but the backups right there can compete as well, and we got to see that competition. So, and then obviously preview W&J to get a jump on what we know of them. So, really clean up Mount Union competition, let guys compete, see different guys play with different others, and then get a first glance at W&J. That's how we approached it.
With W&J also being off, W&J played its 2 games, weeks 1 and 2, and we will talk at length about the Presidents in our second part here. But the fact that
Correct.
And again, you mentioned the position battles and so forth during the week, and they're the 2 deep when either people maybe are looking at their program, their game program, Wolverine Primetime, or they checked out the notes earlier in the week when those came out. Some changes in the 2 deep, and the one that obviously will jump out, it's the one that everybody pays attention to, quarterback. Ethan Wiley, who played more or less the second half against Mount Union, he has been elevated to the starting spot. I know that he and Sutton Ellis have been really since the spring. It's been it's looked like a great pennant race between the two of them, back and forth. Here we are in late September. We've got a mixed metaphor, if you will, but they've been kind of battling, and right now, at least for now, Ethan, is it kind of a case where Ethan's edged ahead a little bit?
Yeah, and it's really been a unique situation for us where even going into that first week, we didn't know, right? It was a great battle, and the thing is, each of them present a little bit different of skill sets, which makes that even more challenging. It's not like you're evaluating 2 guys with the same skill set, right? And both, Sutton led us to a great win of at Cortland first and foremost. You know what I mean? Look at that win. Look at that touchdown run to punch it in to go up 7-0 against Mount. So many positive things, just for him to continue to build on. And, but I want to focus on Ethan. I think Ethan's a senior that and he's known for a strong arm. I mean, anyone who's seen us play, that's his biggest strength is just the arm and the ability to make all the throws and challenge you with throws to the field and pushing the ball down the football field. And, he had a great week of practice, a lot of positive things and again, a big thing right now is how our offense has progressed. We had 4 new starting offensive linemen, new starting fullback, new starting running backs. Well, when you run the ball 4.5 yards a carry against Mount Union and you see how the run game's starting to develop, how those guys are gelling, well, then that also plays into, what we need out of the pass game right now. So it's more than just the quarterbacks. It's actually just kind of coming out of Mount Union where our offense is, of why we feel to put ourselves in the best position as we stand currently is, Ethan getting that opportunity this week.
And then a receiver, I know you've shuffled around maybe some assignments and so forth with Breck Peacock, Daniel Sullivan, and Sam Penna. all three of them juniors now listed as the starters. Is that a case of getting those three guys on the field at the same time as opposed to, say, Peacock and Penna both being in the slot?
Yeah, I'll highlight Sam Penna with this question because everyone knows Dan Sullivan. He's been a 3-year starter, and Peacock went for over 100 yards in our first game, so everyone can see why he's on the field. Sam Penna really impressed us this spring, but he had injuries. He didn't get to do all of spring ball, and then even in fall camp had injuries. So, it's not the reason Sam wasn't necessarily up there and up had nothing to do with anything from a production standpoint. It was just an injury availability standpoint.
Okay.
So now that he really is fully healthy, he kind of gave us similar to what you saw from Breck in the slot in that first game. So it really, once Sam, we've noticed it's coming out of the bye week. That's another thing about bye week, get healthy. Guys getting healthy, we think, man, these are three very dynamic receivers that with their quickness and speed and getting in and out of cuts can present some challenges to a defense. And we actually used Breck out wide during fall camp, and with Sam getting healthy to get all three on the field, the best pathway was for Sam to go back into the slot, and Breck, since he's repped outside, to move him out wide.
And the Wolverines, of course, with those guys at receiver. Up front, this offensive line, the young group, it seems like that they've come a long way in a short amount of time.
They have. They're getting better, truly better and better each week. If you just put the film on and see different things I would throw at them 2.5 weeks ago, I can't get them with anymore. I run the scout defense, so pretty much what I try to do is I always say focus on your vision, not your circumstance. Make the circumstance hard and try to make the line confused. But this group's impressing me. They're locked in. They're starting to gel because in camp we shuffled around a lot of guys.
Sure.
Now you're getting the same five playing with each other, and they were tested as hard as you could be tested in those first two games and showed you positive things. Well, this group should be a very confident group now heading into conference play.
Then quickly looking at the Wolverine defense, no changes there coming out of the open date. During the open date, is there a temptation? And I think certainly, I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask it anyway. Is there a temptation to try to add more to an offensive or defensive playbook, or try to get, I don't want to say get cute, but is there? Do you have to kind of maybe have some discipline to not try to do too much or add too much during the course of an open period?
Yeah, great question. To me, I always look at it as the key word to me is best. Where are we at our best, and what can we be best at? Sometimes best includes, hey, we need to get rid of some things and get back to who we are. Sometimes best is, yeah, we're never going to lose the core identity, but there's some things that we didn't take advantage of that we could. So if we're adding it, it's very intentional to really protect something else that we want to use. So I think coming out of the bye week, there was a little bit of both of that where, okay, maybe there's some things we're doing that we need to take a step back with. But hey, there were some things where we looked after those first 2 weeks and said, hey, here's some things that we could capitalize on, if we added these elements to what we're already doing. So it was all about, with this group, and really I'm learning about our offensive group because there's so many new guys, what can this group be best at within the identity of who we are as an offense? And that included both elements of getting rid of a few things and adding a few elements as well.
A team that will present a lot of elements, the W&J Presidents. We'll talk about W&J when we come back. The Presidents, they will be coming to town rather salty, 0-2, but they're 0-0 in conference play, just like the Wolverines, and they will present another stiff challenge, to say the least, for the Wolverines. When Coach and I come back, we will talk about W&J. We'll also talk about the night game. It has become a great tradition at Grove City, one of the great atmospheres in Division III. We'll talk about that and much, much more. But first, here's Joe Onderko with this week's PAC Football Report. You're listening to the Andrew DiDonato Show, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash in Grove City.
Welcome to the PAC Football Report for September 27th, 2025. I'm Joe Underko. This week we will take a quick look back at the opening of league play action in the President's Athletic Conference last Saturday, while also previewing Week 4 contests this weekend. 4 PAC teams opened conference play Saturday with wins over league opponents. Westminster edged Case Western Reserve 28-23 under the lights in Cleveland. Geneva also improved to 1-0 in conference play, posting a 55-35 offensive shootout victory against St. Vincent in Beaver Falls. Waynesburg and Hiram saw their game delayed by 4 hours at halftime due to lightning, before the Yellow Jackets finally held off the Terriers 35-27 with a goal line interception in the final minute. Finally, Allegheny snapped an 11-game losing streak with a dominant defensive performance in a 26-0 home shutout of Teal. Grove City, Washington and Jefferson and Bethany all had the weekend off. PAC Players of the Week in Week 3 included Geneva junior quarterback Caleb Romano on offense, with a school record 484 passing record tying 7 TD passes, along with a rushing TD versus St. Vincent. Defensive honors went to Allegheny junior D lineman Michael Shank, with 5 tackles, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery, as the Gators posted their first shutout since 2019. Special teams laurels went to Westminster sophomore returner Bright Cannon with a 100-yard kickoff return TD to go along with 126 receiving yards at Case. Newcomer of the week was Waynesburg freshman DB Marcus Crum Jr. with 2 interceptions versus Hiram, including the final minute. Week 4 features 5 league contests, while Westminster has the bye week. Highlighting the slate is a matchup of as 1-1 and 18th ranked Grove City hosts 0-2 Washington and Jefferson in the Wolverines' annual night game at Thorne Field at 7 p.m. The Presidents have dominated the all-time series from dating back to 1893 and edged GCC 27-19 in Washington last season, but the Wolverines won the last 31-24 in 2023. President head coach Mike Sirianni previews the heavyweight PAC opener for both teams.
You know, we got to avoid turnovers and maybe cause some, but honestly, we haven't scored when we got in the red zone. We've had multiple chances inside the red zone, both our first 2 games, and if we score, you know, every time we're in the red zone, obviously we're in a different situation.
Another team opening conference play this Saturday is 0-2 Bethany, which after a Week 3 bye welcomes 0-2-1 Case Western Reserve to Bison Stadium for a 2 p.m. kickoff. The Bison lead the all-time series 15-9 dating back to the first meeting in 1970. But the Spartans have dominated recently with 9 straight wins, with the last Bethany win in the series being a 25-14 win in Cleveland in 2014. Bison head coach Brandon Robinson talks about how his program approached the bye week while preparing for Case.
Coming off the bye, we were going to start conference play, and we knew the urgency that we had to have. We knew that we had to go back to the basics in some areas, especially, you know, we have some injuries at key positions, and we need to, you know, finally take some time and catch some individuals up to speed.
It's homecoming weekend in Greenville as 0-3 Teal hosts 1-2 Waynesburg at Alumni Stadium at 3 p.m. The all-time series dates back to 1913, with the Yellow Jackets holding a 34-10-1 record against the Tomcats, including a 37-10 win in Waynesburg a year ago. However, Teal won the last matchup in Greenville, topping Waynesburg 15-14 in 2023. Tomcat head coach Sam Bauman talks about the special homecoming atmosphere on the Teal campus.
I think it's a really cool atmosphere, and it just leads to a better game day environment. So it's fun to have a lot more people at the game and a lot more people supporting us. So I'm never mad at that.
In other Week 4 PAC contests, 1-2 Geneva travels to Meadville to face 1-2 Allegheny, with both teams looking to improve to 2-0 in league play. The series between the programs dates back to 1899, with the GTs holding a 25-17-4 all-time advantage, including a 27-21 victory last season in Beaver Falls. Finally, 1-2 Hiram travels to Latrobe for a 1 p.m. kickoff against 1-2 St. Vincent at Chuck Knoll Field. It's the first ever meeting on the gridiron between the Bearcats and the Terriers. That's all for this edition of the PAC Football Report. Log on to the conference website at www.pacathletics.org all season long for the latest news, scores, statistics, and other league information. You can also follow us on social media via X, Facebook, and Instagram. Links are available at the PAC website. I'm Joe Onderko. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the stadium.
Ken Frenchak here at the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Experience. We're all about experience. The experience of our expert quick lube techs, and also the experience we provide you with every oil change. You can go anywhere for an oil, but you come here to the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City for the experience. Drive in, drive out. It's that easy. The Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City.
Welcome back to the Andrew DiDonato Show here on the Wolverines Sports Network. Brian Briggs here, along with Grove City College head football coach Andrew DiDonato. As always, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash in Grove City, North Broad Street in Grove City. Coach, W&J coming in at an unusual spot for them at 0-2. Two very good opponents to open the season, Utica in week 1. And then last week, W&J went down to Hampton, Sydney in Virginia, facing an old friend, Vince LeVar, former defensive coordinator at W&J, now the head coach down there. And W&J coming up short 38-31. But this is one of those things where you throw out the record. It's W&J, well coached, a lot of talent. This is going to be a really, really good football team coming to Thorne Field.
Yeah, I mean, they scheduled like we did, so they played two just very talented football teams in the first 2 weeks. Anyone who throws on the film will see that. So, they're sitting here 0-2, but, like us, coming off of a loss, we were the two co-defending champs last week. There's a lot of familiar faces. I mean, I start and I see those same two receivers are back, and that's just a starting point of many others as well. So, this is a team that won the automatic bid for the PAC title last year, went to the NCAA playoffs. They have guys who've been there. They know it. This is going to be just another great matchup between two schools that have built a very fun rivalry over these last couple of years.
You mentioned the two receivers, John Peduzzi, 6'2", 205, senior from Hilton Head, South Carolina, and then Jacob McCosco, 6'1", 185, senior from Peters Township. I know that we saw an outstanding group of receivers with Mount Union 2 weeks ago. And again, two guys that are maybe a little different than those guys, but an outstanding duo, one of the top receiving duos in Division III, no doubt.
Correct. You just said it. They are. I mean, they're one of the best you'll see at our level of Division III football. And one of the biggest challenges is you got two guys with 6'1" or above. Just amazing frames to go with their speed, their route running. Why that makes a challenge is they can get behind you, but they also have amazing ball skills, body positioning. They just present so many different challenges. They're not just one-dimensional in how they beat you in the pass game. So, very, very decorated two receivers that, on opposite sides of each other, complement each other well, and certainly that's the place to start when you prepare looking at this team.
They are on the receiving end of passes from senior quarterback Kellen Stahl. It's his first year as a senior. He's waited his turn, 3 years behind the outstanding Jacob Pugh, who graduated last spring. How much different is the W&J offense, if at all, with Stahl running it compared to Pugh?
No, not very much at all. I think that's why. Honestly, I compare it to kind of Ethan Wiley sitting 3 years behind Logan Pfeiffer. It's going to be an interesting quarterback matchup in this game. I think it's very similar, both Ethan and then obviously, Kellen for them. They sat behind guys who were multi-year starters. They certainly had the ability, but came in at the wrong time when you have a guy in front of you, that both of them can run the offense similar to how the guys before them ran it. And I think similar to what we said about Ethan heading into this game is what I see from them. So expect to see a very similar W&J offense to what our fans have seen in previous years.
In the backfield, they use a number of guys, but last week it was Andrew Sharp, sophomore out of Baldwin, 5'10", 215, who had the lion's share of the carries, going over 100 yards. Also, Kobe DeRosa, a 200-pound senior from Laurel. Those two backs, obviously, they're built similarly. Do they have a similar running style? I know in the past W&J has had, they've had kind of the, not unlike Grove City, they've had the banger, they've had more of the one-cut guy. How do these backs compare?
Yeah, I mean, I think they have so many different guys they can get the ball to. They really impressed. You see 5'10", 200, 215, their ability to run through the tackles, run through blocks. That has been very impressive. And then as W&J, has had in the past, and obviously Kobe we were well aware of, and you see with Andrew, is they're able to, get the edge, outrun you to the edge, and get some extra yards that way as well. So, W&J historically has had backs that had that good blend of using power when you need it and speed when you need it, and I think they have multiple guys who have that blend here with this group.
Up front, a couple of seniors, multi-year starters. Elijah Staub, 6'3", 295 at left tackle. He was a big reason why W&J won last year, helping neutralize the pass rush. And then at right guard, a local guy, Braden Penwell from Wilmington, 6'2", 275. Two seniors, two sophomores, two seniors, a junior, sophomore, and a freshman up front. But this is certainly seems like a good mix and a very physically imposing line.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Guys like Elijah that we're very familiar with that have been doing it at a high level for a while. And if you're starting as a freshman for W&J, it's because you are very good. Okay, so when you get a team that's consistently competing for conference championships and competing to be in the national rankings, if you're getting on the field as a freshman, it says something about you. These guys have come from great high school programs, and that's why they're ready to step in. So, don't be, you don't look at that and think, oh, it's a freshman. No, there's a reason they're playing. So I think they have a very nice blend of experience and youth, again, similar to us. As we got, a sophomore next to a senior multi-year starter, well, that's similar to what they have.
Grant Liefeld, the freshman left guard out of Nordonia High School over in the Cleveland, Akron area. Looking at the W&J defense, they still more or less running the 4-2-5 scheme?
Yeah, they are. W&J has typically been more multiple against us than other opponents, so they'll get down into a head-up nose, whether that be an odd front or a bare front. But, so we always have to prepare for that. Teams know us well, so even though what they put on the two deep or what even they've put on film, we really have to be prepared for everything. So they do base out of a 4-2-5. That is it, but they have shown the ability to get in to be multiple fronts specifically against us, so don't be surprised if anybody listening or watching says, well, that's not a 4-2-5, because they very easily against us could jump into something else.
But 2 weeks ago against Mount Union, I think you saw just about every front imaginable.
Exactly.
3, 4, the bare front.
Yeah.
At one time they had almost like a goal line, 6 guys with a hand on the ground up front.
Correct.
So,
and that's the thing against us, because of how we utilize the fullback position, how we utilize 6 offensive linemen at time. I'll just say this: when you preview an opponent, there's certain looks that their previous opponents have never put on film, so you have no clue how they're going to align to it. So that's why we just got to come in and prepare for everything.
The up front, Aiden Thomas, the senior defensive tackle, leading the way. The most experienced guy certainly up front, but Antoine Smith with a sack and a half this year. A guy that's jumped out to me in W&J. They've churned out quality linebackers like Motown Records churned out hits back in the 60s. They have another one, seems like Brock Sherman, 205-pound sophomore out of Copley, Ohio. Welsh Jesuit, a great program over in Northeast Ohio. Seems like he's really stepped into that breach as being the defensive leader for W&J.
Yeah, I mean, you think about climbing up to be in a nationally ranked team and a very solid defense, the linebacker position, which is hard to find. You truly have to find guys that can be physical and aggressive in the run game, keeping carries at 0 to 2 yards, taking on guard climb, getting out of the block, making tackles, and be able to run sideline to sideline. Certainly we have those guys right now. That's why our defense is playing at a high level. Well, I can tell you, Brock is that caliber. I mean, you talk about a linebacker that will be physical and take on a guard block, a 300-pound lineman block, and then at the next play be able to run sideline to sideline to make a tackle. That is a unique ability. That's what you need to play linebacker at a national level, and they have that guy in Brock.
And it seems like with linebacker, you look across sports, there are certain things that no matter what level of play it is, well, it's professional ranks or FBS, Division III, whatever, left-handed pitching, post players in basketball and in football, quarterback play, obviously, but also then linebackers, guys who big, physical, and can run and are smart.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for them, no matter what. Even we watch games on Sundays and so forth, or even here in the PAC. So finding guys like what the Wolverines have, like a Brock Sherman, guys that W&J has had in the past and presumably will have in the future. Takes some extra work on the recruiting end.
It does, because think of how many different scenarios where you can specialize in one thing. And what I mean by that, like basketball, maybe somebody's just a great shooter, and that's their weapon, and you can utilize that. Or, even offensively sometimes, if somebody's just a great run blocker or pass catcher, you can utilize that. But you can't hide linebacker. When you're playing linebacker, you have to be able, because you don't know what the offense is going to do. It's one of those positions where there's no way around it. You got to be physical and take on 300-pound linemen, and you got to be able to run with the fastest running backs on an opponent. That is not, especially at our level, not easy to find. And the fact is, in this game, you're going to see those guys on both sides of the field, and that's something I think is a fun thing for somebody to be able to watch.
It is the night game, of course, at Thorne Field. It's developed into such a great tradition. a great crowd, fireworks after the game. No doubt going to be another huge crowd Saturday night with W&J, who always travels well. Weather looks good. It's going to be a great evening. You've played in the night game. You've actually played W&J your senior year in the night game. Unfortunately, the weather was not good, and the result went W&J's way as well. But as a player, as a coach, and the few years in between, as an alum coming back, what's the night game mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think about, we've talked about this, I played in 40 college football games, and I don't remember every detail of every one, but there's certain things that, for whatever reason, kind of just mean more in the sense that you just remember them. And I remember every detail of all 3 night games. I remember the heartbreak of my first one against Waynesburg where, we thought we had it, and with 13 seconds left, they get into the end zone. And I remember my last play, which I felt I could have executed before we punted. But then I remember Bethany, the crazy back and forth offensive battle in the first half and a completely defensive battle in the second half. And we go down and we score a touchdown there in the fourth quarter with, the band in the end zone there cheering and winning that game in just pretty crazy fashion. Well, the reason I remember those games is because the night game's special. We do it once a year. Grove City does an amazing job making a big deal out of it. The community's here. The fireworks are going to happen. Some of our greatest moments, obviously the night game ending the 33-game losing streak, are from, better than me, but a first top 15 win, at least that I can remember, be aware of, against CMU here in that 2023 magical September to remember.
Still remember Ryan Fleming stuffing Joey McGinnis at the goal line on 4th and goal. We got a picture of it and all that. It's just, it's like Alabama fans remember Barry Krause stuffing Mike Gooman of Penn State back in the Sugar Bowl in that play.
Yeah, and so that's the night game special. Many historic, memorable program moments have happened in it, and I'm just exciting for another great atmosphere and another big game. And that's the other thing, having these big games on the night game just makes it even more special.
And it is W&J coming to town. It is a big game, the conference opener for each team. Coach, what are the keys for the Wolverines to knock off this very good W&J? The co-champs from last year, as you said, the slight preseason favorite in the preseason poll, edging both Grove City and Westminster for that top spot. But W&J, no doubt a formidable squad coming in. What are the keys for the Wolverines to get to 1-0 and make and extend the night game win streak to 5?
We talked about our ability to run the football in this last game. We have to be able to do that. That's who we are. We got to control the tempo of the game by running it, but we have to make explosive plays in the pass when it comes to it. We can't just be able to run, and I think there's going to be opportunities to make the plays in the pass game, and we have to do that to complement the run. I think defensively, we've had a stout run defense, but they're coming off a great game running the football. So as much as their pass game is really the thing people focus on, we have to shut down the run first and foremost, and then limit those receivers. They're going to have catches. I mean, they are. But you got to limit the explosive plays in those catches. And I think if we're able to do that, then we can have a successful day defensively. And then Mount Union game we had was a rare occurrence where we didn't win the field position battle. Typically we win that, and we were unable to do that last week. We got to get back, or 2 weeks ago. We got to get back to that. So I think run the football offensively, make explosive plays in the pass when we can, shut down their run, know they're going to have some catches, but limit it. Don't let those catches be explosive, and then win the field position battle. Those, to me, are the 5 biggest things that jump out in this one.
Coach, always a pleasure. Missed not getting to do this last week, but it was worth waiting for. We will do it again next week as the Wolverines play another night game, this time on the road at Geneva. Coach, best of luck against W&J, and we will talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate you, Briggsy.
That's Grove City College head football coach Andrew DiDonato. You've been listening to the Andrew DiDonato Show, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. When we come back, Chris Birch and Mark Means will have the call from Thornfield. Grove City and W&J, the conference opener for both the conference powers. And it comes up next on the home of the Wolverines.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy. Check your oil, check your fluids, and get you clean. Fast, friendly service for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wiper blades or filters, check your tire pressure. Locally owned, nationally known. No appointment necessary. Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
Can
Frenchak here at the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Experience. We're all about experience. The experience of our expert quick lube techs and also the experience we provide you with every oil change. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come here to the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City for the experience. Drive in, drive out. It's that easy. The Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out. It's that easy.
From Robert E. Thorne Field on the campus of Grove City College, the Wolverines Sports Network presents Grove City College football. It is the night game as the Washington and Jefferson Presidents come to town. Mark Means, Chris Birch back with you tonight. And the night game is always a special experience.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Obviously, over the past several years, the night game has always had PAC championship ramifications, NCAA tournament ramifications, and tonight's no exception. But separate from all of that, the night game's such a big deal. The college does such an awesome job, and the players are fired up, and it's always a night that everybody remembers.
The visiting Presidents in the black pants with the white jerseys with the red numbers trimmed in black. The Wolverines just about to take the field in the all reds for tonight's night game, and whiteout for the fans.
Yeah, I love it. The all reds, one of my favorite matchups. With their uniforms, and everybody wearing white, including us, and it's going to be an electric crowd for sure.
These were the top two preseason teams in the PAC, with the Presidents picked first, the Wolverines picked second. The Presidents come in 0-2 after wrapping up non-conference play. The Wolverines 1-1 and ranked number 18 in the country in D3Football.com.
Yeah, how about the four opponents that these two teams have played, right? Grove City, traveling to Central New York for Cortland, and then playing Mount Union, and of course W&J, New York Power, Utica, and Hampton, Sydney. So they're both teams well tested.
Down to the field to our referee, Mr. Michael Jarasinski. When he turns his microphone on, we will hear what he has to say.
W&J won the toss. They defer their option to the second half. Grove City will receive. Gentlemen, shake hands. Good luck. Have fun.
So just as it was 2 weeks ago, for the Mount Union game, Grove City will get the offense on the field to start things off here tonight. Chris, beautiful evening for some college football it was mid to upper 70s today. Kind of looked like rain a little bit when I made my drive over here from Ohio, but here come the Wolverines onto the field, and we are ready for this week 4 third game for the Wolverines.
Yeah, how about that? And again, both teams, both W&J and Grove City, having the open dates last week. So both teams, had 2 weeks to not only prepare for each other, but also, talk about some of the things that went well, some of the things that went not so well. As Grove City did get the great win, up at Cortland, and then a tough one against National Power Mount Union. But W&J 0-2. They haven't been 0-3 since 1997, Mark. So certainly a lot riding for W&J. We're going to see some urgency there.
Yeah, W&J giving up 43.5 points per game in their first 2 games, and almost 407 yards of offense against them.
I mean, we've seen them enough that, if they would have played like the Ravens and the Steelers the first 2 weeks, we wouldn't expect them to give up that many yards, right? So yeah, again, I'm sure the open date came at a good time for them, as I'm sure they went right to work trying to fix some of the defensive problems they've had.
And in the pregame show, of course, you heard a change at quarterback. Ethan Wiley, the senior out of Mercer High School, will get the start tonight for the Wolverines, his first start.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan Wiley, a guy that, basically sat behind Logan Pfeiffer for 3 years, learned a lot from him. He's kind of similar body, size and build. And has an absolute cannon for an arm. So the offense will look a little bit different tonight. Not dramatically different, I don't think, but, Wiley obviously more of a drop-back passer, and they're going to look to protect him and see if he can't get the ball down the field a little bit more, certainly than Sutton Ellis did, where he's kind of the dual threat quarterback, running and passing.
So it will be Cameron Epps, the freshman out of South Allegheny. Chase Rankin, the junior, out of Coventry Township in Ohio and Coventry High School. They are back to return as we are getting set to get this one underway here tonight. It'll be Liam Campbell handling the kicking duties for the President's Wolverines. Left to right here to begin tonight's game. Campbell approaches this football. And this is going to be about a yard deep in the end zone by Cameron Epps across the 15 to the 20. And he'll push the pile out to about the 23-yard line. That's where the Wolverines begin. Left to right on your device as we begin tonight's game with the Wolverines in the All Reds.
Yeah, All Reds, and obviously kind of, again, I'm excited to see kind of what the offense is going to look like with Ethan Wiley. Wiley, of course, a local kid, Mercer from Mercer High, covered a lot of his high school games, so I'm excited for him just sort of on a personal level.
And Mary gets the start in the backfield. It'll be a 3 wide receiver set, 1 to the left, 2 to the right. Wiley out of the pistol formation. Demiri a yard deep, gets the carry on first down. Demiri across the 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 40, down the sidelines and pushed out of bounds in President's territory. Wow. And he went out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
Unbelievable. Can you imagine? W&J's been working on their defense now for 2 weeks. And the very first play from scrimmage, we get a 40-yard plus run by Ian Demiri.
So they spot the football at the President's 27-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Demiri, we know he can power, but showing off some speed there.
It'll be Peacock and Penna to the left. It'll be Sullivan to the right side. Shepard Miller going to get the football on first down, and Miller able to push forward for a couple of yards. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 for the Wolverines. DeRubio came over and intercepted that football. And the Presidents will take over after that interception.
Yeah, Wiley, all kinds of pressure. Threw it up there for Sullivan, but nobody, no red shirts around. But you can see Coach DiDonato upset. I thought there was a pre-snap or a free play, maybe. I don't know.
So Kellen Stahl and the Presidents take over at their 43-yard line. 8:02 to play in a scoreless first quarter. Trips to the right side. Single back in the backfield with Stahl. Got Ben Bladel moving around, trying to make the defense focusing on the preseason All-American. Play clock now down under 10 seconds. Stahl turns towards the line of scrimmage. Running back will move to his right. Stahl drops the throw, fires the pass downfield, pass caught, and immediately the receiver is going to be spun down.
Stahl's pass complete to Peduzzi.
That's Peduzzi. Peduzzi's third catch of this first quarter.
Bowden Davidson on the stop.
Yeah, Bowden David right there, but still Peduzzi so elusive. He just finds open.
Second at 5 from the President's 48-yard line. Stahl rolling out, feeling some pressure from Bladel. Now loops it downfield. Pass caught by the receiver who broke a couple of tackles and drives down to about the 37-yard line. That's Kobe DeRosa, the running back, on that play.
Yeah, great job by Stahl avoiding Bladel. Kind of sidestepping him and then able to get it to DeRosa. And DeRosa, you're right, just a broken tackle, able to pick up a first down.
Stahl, two receivers to his right, one to his left. Going to turn, pitch the ball to his tailback that time. That's Kobe DeRosa. And DeRosa down to the 34-yard line. Going to pick up about 3 yards. It's second and 7 for the Presidents.
Yeah, Mason Klaus, another good tackle out there. It looked like it was certainly going to pick up big yardage, but Klaus getting low there and making sure he didn't get anywhere after the catch.
One receiver to the right, stacked two to the left side. Back to throw, goes underneath, pass caught across the 20. And down near the 16-yard line, that's Jacob McCosco on the reception.
Yeah, McCosco able to find a seam in the Peters Township
17 to the 17
product. Picking up a few yards for W&J and getting another first down.
So a gain of 17 to the Grove City 17-yard line. Stahl splits two receivers to the right and one to the left side. Kobe DeRosa is his tailback to the right. Stahl drops to throw and a fire for the back corner of the end zone and overshoots Peduzzi, incomplete. It's second down and 10.
Yeah, all kinds of pressure there from Ben Bladel. Prevented Stahl from throwing the pass that he wanted to throw. So
second and 10 from the Grove City 17-yard line. Incompletion stops the clock at 5:50 in a scoreless first quarter. Stahl going to bring his team to the line of scrimmage. We'll go two receivers to the right and now two to the left side. Single back in the backfield with him. Stahl, three-step drop, steps up, going downfield, and had good coverage by the Wolverines and kind of just threw that football in between two of his receivers.
Yeah, Danino and Montgomery over here on the near side of the field. Again, just blanketing there. Stahl just kind of forced to throw it up and hope, and goes out of bounds harmlessly.
Nick Clements, the freshman out of Moon Township, checking in. It's third down and 10 for W&J. DeRosa is the tailback. One receiver right, stacked two to the left. Stahl to throw. Pressure, steps up. And now he's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. This will bring for W&J.
Number 5, Ben Bladel. Number 67, Jordan Karcheski.
Yeah, Karcheski. Did you see that? He had him backwards. He was holding him backwards until Bladel and the others could arrive. But give Karcheski credit for that one.
Devin Wyatt, 2 of 3 in field goal attempts on the year, a long of 35. So put this down at the 29-yard line, make it a 39-yard attempt. Snap down, rush on, plenty of distance, and that kick is just inside the upright and good from 39 yards out for Devin Wyatt, the senior out of Bishop Guilfoyle High School. Now make him 3 of 4 on the year.
Yeah, big leg, obviously. You're right. It might have come wide left if it would have been a 50-yarder, but it certainly had all the distance it needed.
So with 5:01 to play here in the opening quarter, W&J on the board first. We'll step aside for a break and come back with more on the Wolverines Sports Network.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
How did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
So it was an 8-play, 35-yard drive for the Presidents that took 3:01 off the game clock. It was capped off by Devin Wyatt's 39-yard field goal to give the Presidents the early 3-0 lead, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, again, Grove City's defense certainly playing physical, made some plays there, but W&J just finding enough with those that terrific receiving core that Coach DiDonato talked about in the pregame. Able to pick up enough yardage to give their excellent field goal kicker an opportunity to nail a 39-yarder. So Presidents strike first.
Play clock now approaching 10 seconds.
Damon McDermott joining us. Damon, what's the latest out on the sideline?
Yeah, I got some more bad news for this defense. Noah Wheeler has some ice on his elbow, on his wrist. He had a pick six against Cortland, but it looks like tonight, unless something changes, he's going to be out for the rest of the night.
Wow, that's a big loss. Big loss for Grove City, and now they're trying to figure out what they're going to do in order to slow down this President's offense. And they're set spread, 4 wide receivers. Back to pass, Stalls looking, scramble.
Incomplete, looking for McCosco, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, Dom Danino, what a great play that was.
4th down and 10 for W&J.
Yeah, that was McCosco again coming open, but Danino able to get up over the top and knock it away. Big time play. That was big time by the Grove City defense. All 3 plays, all 3 downs, I should say, for W&J's offense. A play was made by the Grove City defense, and that's we need to see obviously more of that in the second half.
Devin Wyant to punt for the second time. His first one went 52 yards.
Yeah.
Snap back to him.
Yeah, he was talking to the official when the ball was snapped.
We were still in the substitution process. Number 0 from W&J came on late. That's W&J's warning. Replay 4th down.
All right. That's a new one for me.
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. 2:10.
Michael Jarositsky, our official.
Okay.
So again, Wyant to punt the football away. Cameron Epps, Dominic Danino back to return. Snap back to him. This end over end and a fair catch called for. So Grove City will have 2:05 and all 3 timeouts left to try to get some points on the board.
Yeah, certainly encouraging the defense able to come out and play like that, and now the offense needs to kind of pick up on that momentum and get some things going. They tried, they certainly tried on the last possession, going deep on 3 consecutive plays, and all 3 of them were almosts, right? So certainly I don't mind seeing that. Great to get some points before the end of this half, Mark means.
So Sutton, Ellis, and the offense back out there on the field. Ellis takes the snap. He's going to run with the football on first down. Ellis cuts inside, and he'll get down to about the 13-yard line, setting up second down.
Ellis on the run.
This is the 2-minute timeout. Media.
There you go.
We've come to the 2-minute timeout here from Robert E. Thorne Field, with the Presidents with a 24-0 lead. We'll step aside for a break and come back with more on the Wolverines Sports Network.
Founded in 1955, the President's Athletic Conference is regarded as one of the elite NCAA Division III conferences in the nation. Comprised of 12 private institutions and 1 associate member, the PAC thrives in athletics and academics. Now sponsoring 24 varsity sports, the PAC remains unique in this day of high-pressure college athletics, with academics at the core of every program. With over 300 academic All-Americans and over 1,400 academic honor roll recipients with a 3.6 GPA or higher in the past year alone. Our student athletes excel in athletics as well as the classroom. Want to learn more? Visit us at pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
Back here at Robert E. Thorne Field, got a huddle of officials at the 15-yard line.
Yeah.
Got Coach Sirianni out there at the hash marks as well.
Trying to listen in.
I didn't see anything going to the 2-minute timeout.
Well, taking a swig of water here.
Just trying to hydrate.
Yeah.
72 degrees.
Yeah, it's warm. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It was a warm late September day.
For as wet as it was during the week,
yeah,
the football nights have been good.
Yeah, they really have. Yeah, no question. Yeah, it's usually the way it happens, though, right? It seems like it's summer until like week 6 or 7 of the football season every year, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, you show up 1 week and it's 42 and the wind's howling.
Do not look forward to those weeks.
No.
2nd and 6 off the 2-minute timeout. Wolverines go trips to the right, single receiver, that's Sullivan, to the left side on 2nd and 6. Ellis takes the snap, will fire underneath, and that caught about 2 yards shy of the first down marker. That is Sam Penna on the reception for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Penna coming back for the football. Nice ball thrown by Ellis. Big play here.
Penna's 5th catch of the season. Going to go downfield. That's Breck Peacock, who now makes the reception for the Wolverines.
Pass complete.
Yeah, it's a first down. Yeah.
That'll move the chains.
Gain of 5. First down, Grove City at the 23.
Big play. Yeah, that was huge. Keeps this drive alive. Keeps the offense on the field.
Ellis to throw it again. Stepping up in the pocket. Has room to run across the 40. And tripped up there. He'll spin down to the 41-yard line with another first down.
Grove City.
Wolverines going to go right back to the line in the hurry up with trips to single receiver left side. Ellis to throw it again. Goes downfield and that pass.
Yeah, it's
skipped the turf and incomplete.
Covered by Broxy. 2nd down and 10.
It's Jalen Broxy, the senior out of Moon.
Yeah, just still backpedaling when that ball was thrown, and then by the time he got up on it, it had already skimmed off the turf, fortunately for the Wolverines.
2nd down and 10 from the Grove City 42-yard line. Two receivers right and two to the left side. Rankin is the tailback to the left of Sutton Ellis. Ellis takes the snap, stands in the pocket, and that ball's batted away from Breck Peacock. Incomplete. It's Angelo Volumino there in coverage.
Yeah. What the W&J defensive backs are doing such a good job is just taking away the angles for the Grove City wide receivers, playing them real physical.
So 3rd down and 10.
Call that press coverage. They are definitely in press coverage.
Minute 6 to play here in the half. Ellis to throw. Time downfield, and the ball is knocked away and incomplete. The corner broke off of his coverage.
Yeah, that was nearly a pick six.
It's Carson Laconi, the senior, and it's 4th down, and Lane will come on to punt. So Angelo Volumino back to return this punt. Also leads the President's defense with 1 interception on the season. Lane from his 27-yard line. Snap back to him. He gets this one away with a spiral that Volumino will make as a fair catch at the 23-yard line, and the Presidents will have 56 seconds and 1 timeout.
Yeah, be interesting to see what, kind of what their approach is here. Are they, certainly content to go into the locker room with a 24-0 lead, or are they going to, come out and be aggressive and see if they can't make something happen in this passing game that they've had success with all night?
History will tell you that the Presidents are an aggressive offense.
Yeah, right. Silly me for suggesting conservatism, right? Yeah.
Single back in the backfield with Kellen Stahl, and now a flag. We're going to get a procedure penalty. Someone up front moved. And you got that on John Peduzzi. Be the 3rd flag for 15 yards on the Presidents here in the first half.
Yeah.
It is now 1st and 15 at the
that certainly is helpful here in with this time and score.
Stahl will hand the football off to Andrew Sharp. And Sharp's going to get a couple out of that run down to the 20.
Brought down by Jolly.
We'll get 2. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 13 for the Presidents.
Clock continuing to roll inside of 30 seconds here. W&J not in any hurry.
20 seconds on the play clock. About 8 seconds apart. So Stahl will turn back to the line of scrimmage. The play clock now down to 5 seconds. And we'll hand the football off. Bouncing off the pile and getting to the outside is Andrew Sharp before being tackled at the 25-yard line. And that will bring us to the end of the first half of action.
That is the end of the 2nd quarter. Your score, W&J 24, Grove City 0.
Our score at the break is Washington and Jefferson at 24 and Grove City 0. We will step aside for a break, and we will come back with more here on the Wolverines Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, yard-hanging, and, of course, companionship.
And what breed would you say Satchmo is?
I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier-hound chihuahua-looking kind of mix.
Tremendous dog.
I'd also like to point out Satchmo's coloring, a white, gray, brown, black brindle, simply marvelous.
You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this.
Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group.
And finally, the loving face flick.
It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks.
Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself, so you can save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories. And that is why we want to help. We are make free government resource that can make paying the mortgage, and now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE, or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Here at Robert E. Thorne Field, Mark Means, Chris Birch with you. A 24-0 lead for Washington and Jefferson here at the half. And when you look at some of the team numbers, 39 plays run for Washington and Jefferson for 283 yards, 32 for the Wolverines. Trying to get the offense going at 115.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding, certainly. And Sutton Ellis quarterbacks have 3 for 14 for 15 yards, and they've taken a couple of sacks. So, again, a combination of just great coverage down the field by the W&J defensive backs, and all kinds of pressure being put on those two QBs by the guys up front. So tough going, really. The only bright spot, Mark, is the Ian Demiri, 12 carries for 86 yards. But again, and I don't want to be negative Nelly about everything, most of those 86 yards, more than half of them coming on the first play of the game.
And a fairly penalty-free first half. 3 on the Presidents for 15, 2 on the Wolverines for 15. Time of possession in favor of W&J, 15-16 to 14-44. Both teams kind of struggling on third down. Presidents 3 of 6, Grove City 3 of 9. But the Presidents been able to, finish off drives, Chris. They've gone into the red zone 4 times. They've scored 4 times.
Right. And a couple of those were on short fields, but not all of them. As W&J offensively, they've just been really efficient. And their quarterback, Kellen Stahl, doing a lot of things with the rollout, the short passes. And, they don't have a whole lot of yards rushing. But, again, I keep kind of coming back to this. They've almost used those short passes as sort of like the replacement for their running game. And they've done that very well.
Looking at the first half scoring, Presidents got on the board at the 5:01 mark of the first quarter on a Devin Wyatt 39-yard field goal. That was an 8-play, 35-yard drive. Took 3:01 off the clock. A couple of President touchdowns in the second quarter, 14-49. It would be Sharp from Stahl, 18 yards out. Wyatt's extra point made it 10-0 in favor of the Presidents. That a 3-play, 64-yard drive.
Remember the big play at the end of the first quarter set that touchdown up on the very next play.
At the 11:30 mark, it was Stahl to McCosco from 15 yards out. That's a 6-play, 60-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock. Wyatt's extra point made it 24-0 in favor of the Presidents. And then Stahl at the 5:18 mark of the first half would score from 4 yards out. That a 10-play, 77-yard drive that took 5:19 off the clock. And the Presidents a 24-0 lead here at the half.
Yeah, that was that last drive was kind of their virtuoso, right? They, able to really take a lot of time off the clock and get down there and score after a long drive. And if anything was particularly demoralizing for Grove City, it was that.
And, as you said, not a lot of deep passing attempts in this offense for the Presidents. I'm trying to, it feels familiar Offensively, like maybe an early West Coast, like 49ers type offense where they really didn't stretch the pad back then?
How about that? Yeah, that's a great reference. Yeah, no doubt about it. And Kellen Stahl doing a good Joe Montana impression. And I mean, you can't help but be impressed with the way Kellen Stahl played in that first half for the President.
We're just getting started, though.
So Stahl has put up some big numbers here in this first half of action. When you look at the individual numbers, Stahl 18 of 28 for 253 and a pair of touchdowns.
Yeah.
Leading receiver Jacob McCosco, 12 targets, 8 catches for 142 and a touchdown.
That's and a half.
Peduzzi was targeted 8 times, 3 catches for 23 yards. A leading rusher is Sharp, who has carried yards. Grove City has done a good job controlling the running game from the President.
They've run, kind of being right. But you're going to take Plan B, if you will, for W&J. The passing game has been just incredibly efficient.
Individual numbers for the Wolverines: Ian Demiri, 12 carries for 86 yards. Sutton Ellis has 2 rushes for 24 yards. Ellis 2 of 10 through the air for 8 yards. Ethan Wiley was 1 of 4 for 7 yards and had the 1 interception. Leading receiver Brett Peacock, 2 catches for 11 yards. Leading tackler in the game, it's Brock Sherman for the Presidents, who has 5. For Grove City, Caleb Brubaker in with 9, Bowden Davidson with 5, Ben Bladel and Jack Jolly with 3. And that linebacking core for the Wolverines continuing to lead the way.
Yeah, and again, there's been a lot of good individual plays by the Grove City College defense. There's no question about it. But it's just been at every time, it's like you fill one hole, so to speak. W&J finds another hole, and they've just played great.
Going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will look around the PAC scoreboard. That is coming up next here on the Wolverines Sports Network.
My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community, many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home, and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within the community, and when we do, we unite them. We make the community stronger. What I do is something I wish someone had done for me, and I am so grateful I am able to. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunities and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. That's /the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to...
I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home Walk Restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet, fingerling, Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
A putty knife and scrape off the old wax ring. Then line up the bolts with the bowl and gently set in place, making sure a proper seal is created with the flange and drain. Next.
Dad?
Yeah, sweetie.
Is that an old plumbing manual?
Oh, yeah, honey.
We really need to get some new books.
Right, do you want me to stop?
Nah, I kind of want to know how it ends.
Okay. Tighten the bolts, line up the flushing valve to the opening in the top of the bowl, and secure the tank.
This today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Alvin and the Chipmunks love to eat.
Who's hungry?
But even though you can't see or smell it, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
That's not good.
On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. With 4 simple steps.
We got this. This'll be a walk in the park.
Clean. Wash your hands and surfaces often.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Separate. Keep raw meats, poultry, and seafood separate from ready-to-eat foods.
Watch and learn, my friends.
Cook. Make sure an adult uses a thermometer to cook meat, poultry, and seafood to the right temperature.
Fire in the hole!
And chill. Refrigerate promptly and pack your lunch with a freezer pack or ice.
Bingo! Dinner! She's a serve! Yay!
Keep your family safe and check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
Halftime here on the Wolverines Sports Network with Washington Jefferson leading the Wolverines by a score of 24-0 here at the break. Chris, everything else around the conference has gone to final from earlier this afternoon. And
some interesting scores for sure.
Hiram College Terriers get their first win back in the President's Athletic Conference today with a 40-38 win over St. Vincent.
Yeah, again, a newcomer to the conference, and it certainly looks like they're playing well and get a nice win today.
Geneva, who the Wolverines will face in Beaver Falls next Saturday night at 7:30. They get a win today at home as they defeat Allegheny 28-16.
Yeah, again, the GTs, when they get that triple option going, it's very tough to stop, and that's certainly a quality win against Allegheny.
And a Case Western Reserve, they defeat Bethany tonight at home 55-0. An offensive explosion for Case Western.
Yeah, I remember they had that weird game last week that was suspended and then called a tie. So yeah, they certainly came back from that in a big way today.
And our final game in the conference today was Waynesburg holding serve at home, defeating Teal by a final score of 45-14.
Yeah, Waynesburg again, kind of a program that seems to be getting better and better. So yeah, they're right. They're just kind of climbing the tiers. So they could end up certainly being a problem for some people this year.
So a lot of points scored across the conference today.
Yeah, that's a great point, right? Yeah, the winners in all of the games scoring a ton of points, and in a couple of the games, certainly St. Vincent and Allegheny, the loser scoring some points too.
So a lot of offense around the conference, and it'll be interesting to see, just how things go forward now. I love the fact that the conference has gone to the kind of the unbalanced schedule with non-conference play the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and again, it's so hard to tell because you got, Grove City College and W&J, scheduling and playing nationally ranked teams and big-time power teams, and Grove City 1-1, W&J 0-2, and a couple of the other teams, scheduling teams that they knew they could have some success against to get off to a good start. So it all kind of depends on where your program is and the philosophy. But now that we're here and PAC conference's play is in full swing, and we'll start to see where everybody is, right?
Well, next week, these Washington and Jefferson presidents will head to Hiram for a 1 o'clock kickoff. Case Western Reserve travels to St. Vincent. Waynesburg will host Allegheny. Westminster on the open date this week. They will host Bethany, and the lone night game under the lights, of course, Eva at 7:30 next Saturday. That a little bit of a later start time.
Yeah, and again, that's a lot of fun and typically big-time events on each campus.
Adjustments. It seemed like the last couple of possessions defensively, they started to figure things out.
No question, right. That was certainly the most encouraging thing about the night was how well the defense played in those last couple of possessions. A couple of guys making some big-time plays, and offensively though, you can talk about adjustments. The problem is you got to go out and kind of make those things happen and execute them against a defense that's playing very well tonight.
We'll take one more quick break. We'll come back and get ready for the third quarter here on the Wolverines Sports Network.
Service for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wiper blades or filters, check your tire pressure. Locally owned, nationally known.
Ken Frenchak here from the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Fall. Leaves are changing. Why not get a jump start on the season and get the oil changed in your vehicle? We have your grade of Valvoline oil regardless of your gas or diesel engine. We stock most air filters and windshield wiper blades. So don't forget, we offer 2 automatic car washes along with 2 self-serve bays. Stop by to have your car run and look great. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Care and Car.
Founded in 1955, the President's Athletic Conference is regarded as one of the elite NCAA conferences in the nation. Comprised of 12 private institutions and 1 associate member, the PAC thrives in athletics and academics. Now sponsoring 24 varsity sports, the PAC remains unique in this day of high-pressure college athletics, with academics at the core of every program. With over 300 academic All-Americans and over 1,400 academic honor roll recipients with a 3.6 GPA or higher in the past year alone. Our student athletes excel in athletics as well as the classroom. Want to learn more? Visit us at pacathletics.org or follow us on social media.
Getting ready for the third quarter here on the Wolverines Sports Network. Also, the night game, the Whiteout Hall of Fame night as well, and Coach Smith being honored today. It was good to see him.
Yeah, it sure was. Very, very cool and great player here. Long-time coach, certainly a foundation of this football program. Coached, was Coach DiDonato's coach here. And, of course, the athletic director, Todd Gibson, he was his coach. So, just all kinds of ties to Coach Smith. And, what a great, honorable man. And it's certainly great to see him get into the Grove City College Hall of Fame.
So the first step up for this Grove City College football team is they will kick the ball to the Presidents to begin the third quarter. Up and getting the ball back.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? And they did that, the first part of that, the last possession of the half, and now it's time to do it again. Get this offense out there and get something going.
So Lane will kick the football away as we get set to begin the third quarter here tonight under the lights at Robert E. Thorne Field. Brady Lane with the football teed up at the 35-yard line.
Edwards deep for W&J.
The twin returners back deep at their 5-yard line. Lane gets his foot into this one, drives it deep to the 2-yard line. Brought back across the 5, 10, outside to the 15, and then near the 20 before being bottled in and pushed out of bounds. And the special teams unit, they did a good job to kind of funnel that return, Chris, to the sidelines as an extra defender.
Yeah, that was really well played there by the Grove City kickoff team.
For Grove City.
So let's see what this some of the adjustments made by this defense. You know that
Run back of 18
nobody
yards,
better, so to speak, and with in-game adjustments.
So it'll be Kellen Stahl, the senior, with trips to his left side. Wolverines showing some pressure. Play clock now down under 20 seconds as he checks with the sidelines. Single back in the backfield with him. He'll drop to throw. Gonna fire downfield. The pass is caught.
Pass from Stahl complete to McCosco.
That's McCosco on the reception. Levi Teets there on the tackle for the Grove City secondary. Have not seen a Noah Wheeler.
Yeah, I
since
saw
he
was in an arm sling. Went to the locker room at halftime. He had a sling on. Yeah, a lot of teams.
So they will roll, and Stahl will look to throw. That pass is caught. Steps by a defender across the 40. And down near the 46-yard line. That is Joey DiSabato, the sophomore. And for DiSabato, that's his 4th catch.
Yeah, and all 4 of his catches been kind of similar fashion, just like that one. Nice little jump cut to set up some yards after catch.
One receiver right, 2 to the left side. Single back in the backfield with Stahl is Andrew Sharp. Sharp's going to get the football going to the short side forward for about a yard.
Grove City's D, and that's kind of what they've done to this running. to go. A lot of Easton bobbled the snap, and whatever was supposed to happen after that did not.
So 3rd down and 9 for the Presidents. 1 receiver right, 2 to the left side. Single back into the backfield. Stall to throw. Going to take a shot for the corner. Receiver turned around, and that pass sailed out of bounds and incomplete. So bring up 4th and 9 from the Grove City 14-yard line.
Yeah. It looks like they're going to get the field goal unit out. Certainly a somewhat of a win, for the Grove City defense to keep them from getting another 1st down and keeping the drive going and a chance to get a touchdown.
Wyatt 3 of 4 with a long of 39. He connected on in the first half tonight.
Yeah.
This will be from the 21, make it a 31-yard attempt. Snap and hold are good, and Wyatt will get this one inside the left upright and good. And with 10:53 to play here in this 3rd quarter, the Presidents add 3 and now lead 27-0.
Yeah, just flawlessly executed there by the W&J field goal unit, and just a good drive, another good drive for the Presidents.
So we will have an opportunity here to step aside for a meet. Actually, we'll keep this one right here with 10:53 to play in the 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, obviously keeping W&J out of the end zone when their offense was clicking there, has to be considered certainly a bit of a win. But now the key has got to be, if we're going to make any hay here in this second half, this offense has got to find ways to pick up 1st downs, keep the chains moving, and put together a couple of scoring drives to get back in this game, and I think it's got to start soon, Mark Means.
He's done a good job, Chris, running the football, averaging almost 5.5 yards per carry.
Right.
But it's just been able to find the rhythm into the offense.
Right, that's it. Right, when the running game had a nice average against Mount Union, so again, it's just kind of being, diverse enough to get the passing game going, getting the quarterback some protection. And, again, a lot of season left to, as far as determining, where all of these teams stack up. But I've seen a lot of defensive secondaries, at the Division III level, most of them sitting here with you over the years. And this W&J secondary is really good. I mean, it's just very, very different, very, very difficult to get, anything going down the field, and the pressure on the quarterback's been great.
So Wolverines will send Cameron Epps and Chase Rankin back to return this kickoff. With 10:53 to play here in this evening's 3rd quarter. This is the first of 2 consecutive night games for the Wolverines.
That's
Liam Campbell to kick off.
Might be unprecedented,
Rankin,
huh?
Epps deep.
We've had multiple night games in a season. I just don't think
back to back
in a row.
Yeah.
This kick is going to be fielded by Cameron Epps across the 10, 15, 20. And Epps will go out of bounds near the 25-yard line. And that is where Grove City begins this possession of the 3rd quarter, going left to right on your device.
Yeah. And again, like to see maybe get back to the, kind of getting that running game going a little bit, and then that's setting up something deep, as they tried to do there in the last possession of the half, the last offensive possession for Grove City of the half, when you had Sutton Ellis, going deep 3 times in a row.
So Ellis and the Wolverines set to begin this 3rd quarter offensively. They'll give it to Ian Demiri on 1st down. And Demiri able to push the pile forward across the 25 to the 26-yard line for a pickup of 3 on 1st down.
Yeah, so just, again, like to see maybe the short passing game going too, huh?
2nd and 7 from the 26-yard line. They'll bring in an extra wide receiver in Sam Penna. Dustin Hoddle, the fullback, will come to the sidelines. Ellis overlooking that President's defense. Gonna fire over the middle, and that went through the hands of Anthony Brunette, who was running right down the middle of the field.
Great play call. Yeah, as you can see, W&J is essentially viewing the fullback as an extra lineman, which is the way they're used 99% of the time. But
Third down and 7 at the 26.
not able to haul it in. And that kind of night, right?
So third down and 7 with trips to the right, a single receiver to the left side. Chase Rankin, the junior, checks in the backfield. Ellis takes the high snap, step it up in the pocket, and he is going to be sacked back near the 20-yard line. Tried to step up, but stepped into 2 defenders for the Presidents, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Yeah, pocket collapsed fast, and Ellis couldn't find anybody down the field, and thought, all right, I'm going to try to run, but by then, there's already a couple of defenders that had their mitts around his ankles.
So Derek Lambert will come on to snap the football to Brady Lane, who will punt it away.
Lane to punt.
Volumino back at his 45-yard line. Low snap by Lambert. Lane able to pick it up and get the kick away. High end over end. Volumino calls for the fair catch and will make it at the Grove City 48-yard line.
A little contact there on the punter, but officials deemed not enough for the penalty. That would have been a nice break.
Takes over first and 10.
Again, good field position for the Presidents. That's been one of the stories of the game.
So first and 10 for W&J from the Grove City 47-yard line.
At the Grove City 47.
1 receiver to the right and 2 to the left side. Checks with the sidelines for the play call. Play clock under 15 seconds. Wolverines showing some pressure. They'll flip it to the running back, who turns the corner across the 35 and is going to be knocked out of bounds inside the 20. At the Grove City 17-yard line. That's Kobe DeRosa, the senior, out of.
And Ryan Montgomery able to kind of cut the angle there and make a touchdown-saving tackle, but not before a 29-yard gain and a lot of damage.
Stahl puts 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Now they'll motion DeRosa out of the backfield. Stahl's going to keep the football. This time it'll be dropped right at the line of scrimmage. They'll lose about a yard. It'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Yeah, Jack Jolly having none of it, right? As throwing some blockers off of him and getting to Kellen Stahl. That had to be satisfying, as slippery as Stahl has been tonight.
2nd and 11 from the Grove City 19-yard line. Stack 2 receivers to the right, split 1 to the left side. Stahl to throw. Feeling the pressure, he'll throw it downfield. Pass going to be caught. That's Jacob McCosco on the reception. Going to bring up 3rd down and about 6 now to go for the Presidents.
McCosco putting together an unbelievable night statistically from that wide receiver position.
12 catches for 168 for McCosco. Give it 13 for 173 now. Stahl to throw. Pressured by Bladel, rolls out and dumps the pass downfield. And that's McCosco on the reception, and that'll be good enough for a President's first down.
I mean, that's the classic play that kind of sums up the night for this W&J offense. Stahl's rolling out. Ben Bladel has him in his grips, but he's able to somehow get the pass off, find McCosco, who was blanketed by Danino, but still able to make the catch and get the first down.
Single back, Kobe DeRosa in the backfield with Kellen Stahl. Play clock at 7 seconds. They give it to DeRosa, and DeRosa gets inside the 5 and down near the 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Presidents.
DeRosa on the run.
DeRosa 5'10", 200 pounds, out of Laurel High School.
Yeah, that's very nearby. But
outside looking for the goal line and was driven back at the goal line. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1.
3rd and goal for 1.
Yeah, that was a big-time play. Montgomery in there to fill.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Oklahoma State saying bye-bye to Mike Gundy. No surprise at all, huh? I mean, he knew it. Just a matter of time, huh?
Yeah, at some point, you always wonder about in-season firings and who could be lined up next if it's an interim. If they try to go within, I haven't had